Welcome back to this edition of the TeamLiquid.net StarCraft 2 Open. And now your hosts, DJ Wheat and Chill.
That's right, welcome back to the BattleDex Team Liquid StarCraft 2 Open. I am DJ Wheat. Joining me is the maybe a little bit quieter Chill. Hello, Chill, what's up? Awesome, now I don't hear him at all. We have lost Chill.
Hello?
Oh, there he
Can you hear me
is!
now?
Oh,
Wow.
hey! I knew that if I just sang along with the music for a little bit, that you'd just appear, you know?
Yeah, I just come bursting in.
You're bursting in like the Kool-Aid man, dog. What's going on? This is the grand finals of the BattleDex Team Liquid StarCraft 2 Open. And, of course, to give everyone some credit, not only did we start out with 512 players, but, of course, the Team Liquid admins that admin through all these games and the guys on the back end who get us the replays and make all this happen. Thank you to you guys. Also, thank you to the sponsor, BattleDex. Make sure to check them out at BattleDexGame.com. It's sign up for free. They do weekly money tournaments. There's a guy that no one can take down, and that should just motivate all of you to want to go own this guy. Don't let him win all the BattleDex tournaments. I was reading, he won again, Chill. He won again. No one can best him.
I hate that guy.
Yes. No one can best. His name's JoJo.
Typical.
I bet he's on Team Liquid. I bet he's from Team Liquid, actually. So, guys, thanks for coming and thanks for supporting Team Liquid at BattleDex and the Team Liquid StarCraft 2 Open. Again, I'm DJ Wheat. Joining me is Chill, and we have the finals here. AhhBoxxah, a Terran versus Optikzero, our Protoss. And AhhBoxxah, we just got off of his semifinal, of course, against a Zerg, Master Asia, and he was able to best him despite Master Asia's efforts. He went down all the right trees, and, I think at the end of the day, it came back to positioning, choices on when to attack, and I have to say, even though he had that minor contain on the gold there, not allowing Terran to expand out, Terran having that siege at the front of his base allowed him to just make those low eco Marines and really just Marine his way to victory. That's one of the styles that we've been seeing coming from the Korean servers, both early and mid-game. And, well, it paid off for AhhBoxxah as he sits here pretty in the finals. And then the other semifinal was Optikzero versus Liquid Tyler, and that was a match, a PvP that surprised all of us.
Right. I see so many people in the chat like, where's Noni? Where's Liquid Tyler? Well, guess what? He's gone. We have Optikzero in his place. He's eaten his soul and consumed him. I mean, if you saw those games, they were really well played by Optikzero. And the story I like here between these two players, AhhBoxxah and Optikzero, is that AhhBoxxah played kind of a very macro, micro heavy style, and not too. He didn't play any cute tactics. He kind of made a lot of units. He attacked at typical times, and he just controlled them very well. Whereas Optikzero, we didn't see too much great control out of him, but what we did see out of him was very nice strategic thinking and tactics, just sitting on the back foot, letting Noni attack into him, or Liquid Tyler attack into him, and then counterattacking. So I like this kind of dynamic we're setting up here, a very strategic tactical player against a very mechanical player. And I don't know who has the advantage in that matchup, but I think it's going to make a very dynamic finals.
And, the only thing I would add to that is I guess I would give AhhBoxxah a little bit more credit. We saw more of it in Game 2 than we did in Game 1. But in Game 2, once he had the distinct advantage, he was really doing a great job dropping all over the map. And I know that that's kind of what you mean a little bit with the map control. But, anytime you've got multi-drops going on and you're able to control those well, in one case he took out the original Baneling Nest, in another case he took down a third wing expansion that came out from Master Asia. So it really is kind of what? Wait, what?
I said right.
Oh, right.
Right.
I thought you said wait. I'm like, oh God, what did I say wrong? So I'm curious to see how the timing of Optikzero will sort of interface with, of course, the Marine heavy drop and just large number play by AhhBoxxah. Seem to be completely okay just continuing with that micro. And with that being said, I think we should go ahead and jump right into Game 1. So I'm loading it up right now. And we will get started here with our first matchup, as I will have to move my window here also, so give me a moment to do that. All right. Man, I can hear people messaging you like crazy in BattleNet. Bling. All right, let's do the countdown here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And see, I even started like a millisecond faster just to see if it would offset. But anyway, moving on. This is the grand finals of the BattleDex Team Liquid StarCraft 2 Open. Here in the 7 o'clock position, playing as the very fashionable Pink Terran, we have got AhhBoxxah. Up in the 2 o'clock position, here playing as the Blue Protoss, we have got Optikzero. Both of these players are sitting in the top of the North American ladder, but it is, I believe, Optikzero who is a little bit higher than him. AhhBoxxah, though, while he did not have the most impressive showing at MLG, in talking with him and that being sort of his first tournament out there, I'm sure he has a lot more experience, a lot more comfort playing online in the comfort of your home. So this could be a big win for him right here, getting that momentum to take into his next major competition. He said he wants to be heavily involved with MLG in 2011, and who knows what other leagues will pop up between now and then as well.
Yeah, for sure. We just see more and more money tournaments showing up every month. It's getting ridiculous, StarCraft 2. And wow, again, this fast probe scouting for Optikzero just going to be annoying, getting into AhhBoxxah's base, going straight for the SCV, possibly going to take it out. Let's see if he pulls that away. Yes. And now dropping the barracks, but just delaying that a little bit. So any sort of mining losses that Optikzero suffered by sending that early probe completely recouped by delaying the build that much for AhhBoxxah. Now coming in with the shields regenerating, going to go back to work. Now typing, finding the time to respond to the request of AhhBoxxah. And looks like he's following up with the standard play here, Gateway Assimilator. And I feel like I am getting a little bit ahead of DJ Wheat as the casting progresses. So if you feel that, just put a message into the chat. I will pause my stream and try to resync.
All right, perfect. Gateway's about to complete here for Optikzero. Not sure that he's actually going to attempt to go for any pressure. I do like the early probe that goes out. You know, he did delay the barracks, just as you said, but ultimately I don't think he's getting ready to follow it up with some real quick push. What it does do, it gives him that early advantage early on. He does have the Psy-Core going down as well. Second Assimilator being thrown into the mix, and Orbital Command going up for the Terran. So very standard opening here. Nothing out of the ordinary that we've seen, especially based off of the 2 games that we saw just recently with AhhBoxxah. Does look like a Marine is going out here, and I don't see an SCV with it, so he's probably not going to be doing any of that crazy harass. I'm sure he keeps that mostly for his Zerg opponents anyhow.
Yeah, just wants to control the Xel'Naga Watchtower. If you look on the Fog of War in StarCraft 2, you can see if anyone controls that. So he sends out the first Marine to take that away from the probe. Now the probe moves to the second one, the Marine already there to shut that down. It looks like Optikzero getting a Zealot out quickly. Not sure he needed that, especially in PvT. There is a build, though, in PvT. If I take a look at his Chrono Boost, yes, he is saving Chrono Boost. So there is a build, and looks like he's not going for it. Actually getting the Stargate out.
Yeah.
1 gate Stargate. Wow. Going to be interesting to see what he does with that, if it's going to be for Phoenixes or Void Rays. Void Rays a little bit better against Marines, but a little bit worse against buildings in the most recent patch. Maybe he's got some sort of 1 gate Phoenix push or 1 gate Void Ray push. I'm really interested to see.
Wow, meanwhile, we've got an interesting, I guess, recalibration of the base over here on AhhBoxxah's side. He's put a bunker up in the corner there, but he's got no choke. He's got even a lowered supply depot. He moved over with the factory and, of course, is putting down a starport as well. So this could be kind of interesting. I think in a previous matchup, AhhBoxxah actually had a much heavier barracks play even early on, and he is going to be dropping a tech lab on there. So with 2 refineries up, I actually wonder if we're going to be seeing some Banshee play coming out here. In the meanwhile, we do have Phoenixes coming out, and he could just be using this as a harassment tool, but you've got to be careful not to, you know, leave yourself with a small ground army if you're going to do this. You know, late game, it works out pretty well. You can lift some siege tanks and take those out of the equation. But this is an interesting choice here for our Protoss player.
You know what? Phoenixes actually destroy Banshees. And actually looking at that, seeing the Phoenix fly in, AhhBoxxah actually cancels his first Banshee and decides to expand. So very interesting there because he knows he'll just get completely crushed. The Banshee will be crushed by the Phoenix. And looking at the Chrono Boosted Observer coming out of the robotics for Optikzero, I really think that's what he was going for, just looking for a build to completely negate any sort of Banshee play, and that's what he's done here. Now if he can find a timing to move in with a few Phoenixes, harassing an SCV there, picking up one or two, shutting him down. Very nice. He's picking up the weakened ones, so he can snipe them really easily there. If he can find a timing to move in with Warp Gate units, supplemented by these Phoenixes, he could potentially crush the expansion, but a lot of Marines coming out of the reactored barracks for AhhBoxxah.
Yeah, no more units coming out of that Stargate, so now the ground army begins. He did force that observer. Of course, it doesn't matter that he was forced it out because he can still use it in other ways, but you can see this observer is just going to chill in base, and that might be okay because he's doing some good scouting with these Phoenixes over here. He's keeping a very close eye on what is going on inside the base, and we've got 2 more barracks going down right now, so expect that heavy Marine play. We now have a Raven coming out for the Terran players, so we decided just to completely skip that Banshee. We also have the command center flying over. The Phoenixes, of course, are going to catch this as well, and so I do like this opening. You know, he didn't have to worry about too much pressure. Looks like the SCV is going to come out to find out if Optikzero has expanded. He had not, and now the Nexus is going to be going down. So either of these guys could come up with a very interesting timing push here. Unfortunately, neither. Oh no, the Raven!
My God!
Oh God!
Wow.
Oh my God! You know what, Chill? I just feel like going out and buying like an expensive 3D television and then just throwing it off the top of my building. Like that's basically what just happened right there.
I can't believe how fast Ravens goes down to Phoenixes. That's not a matchup you typically see. And looks like AhhBoxxah has none of that. He swapped out the tech lab for the reactor on his starport, not wanting any more Ravens. Looks like he'll rely on scans from his two orbitals. Phoenix is getting a lot of scouting and a lot of harassment here. They continue to fly in and just lift up SCVs. The only thing I'm not sure about here is how much of like the fundamentals Optikzero is giving up by doing this. Yeah, he's getting a lot of scouting, doing a lot of cute moves with these Phoenixes, now lifting up a mule and taking it out with the Phoenixes. Very nice. But when he put that Nexus down, he was at 800 minerals. And really, he's only got 2 Warp Gates, 2 more coming up. He's got a Colossus out, but everything just feels a little bit late. So it's going to be the classic battle of the Mind versus, I guess, the Fist. AhhBoxxah being the Fist, just really churning out a lot of units here out of his barracks, taking a fast expansion, and the Mind being Optikzero, getting a lot of high-tech units, going Phoenix, getting Colossus, getting the Thermal Lance out there. I'm not sure who will win when they finally crash.
Yeah, and actually, I want to take back a previous statement because with those extra racks down before he had any add-ons, you know, mostly what's coming out of there are going to be Marauders, which are going to end up doing pretty good against this army composition that he's got. You can hear some more Phoenix harass going on around here. Good move, bringing out a Viking from the starport to try to take those out. Of course, with their range and whatnot, they're not quite as mobile as the Phoenix, but he can shut down that scouting. We now have 2 Colossus out. There'll be 3 out on the field shortly, and Extended Thermal Lance is about 75% complete. Here comes a push, and you can see several Marines coming out of those bunkers. We got a few Marauders as well. I don't know if there's enough Marauders to really try to focus down those Colossi, as 3 is going to be a pretty decent number. Chronobus ending up or still going on there, but no additional one being made. Fortunately for AhhBoxxah, the ground army for the Protoss not that big, and here comes the push, and he will get the first strike.
An Extended Thermal Lance is actually done, so these Colossi are going to move in. AhhBoxxah trying to separate his units, draw the Protoss army into the tanks. Now the tanks under siege by the Colossi. Looks like the infantry units are going to stim run in and actually getting completely cut up by the Colossi here. Colossi still going to work on the tanks, taking everything out. That was a big misstep by AhhBoxxah, and I think that Optikzero thought that his Colossi were unscouted, but they completely were scouted. A scan went off. He was hiding them in his main, but that had been scanned by AhhBoxxah, so I'm not sure what he was thinking, attacking at that timing, not getting sieged up. He had every opportunity to spread out, but he just didn't take it, and now he's going to be extremely hard-pressed to defend this counterattack. I'm going to be completely shocked if he can live and take down these two Colossi from Optikzero.
Yeah, I agree. Although it didn't look like his ground army was that great, he was able to reinforce it quickly. He's going to take out this bunker, no problem. And there is just a small handful. Now, he does have these two Vikings, so he may want to try to focus those down. He's going to instantly just go for that ground army, using those Zealots as a shield there as well. One Viking goes down, second one goes down, and the Colossus should remain safe here as SCV's pulled off the line. And even though we have focus fire on first Colossus, we will see a GG coming out.
We see a G.
Yeah, we see a G, only a single game. And he will give him game as very nicely played. Now, even though we were being somewhat critical with the opening, the initial Stargate going down, the Phoenixes gave him a good insight to exactly what he was up against. He was able to stop the Banshee harass simply from showing his Phoenixes. And, you know, on the other hand, of course, we had AhhBoxxah able to force a couple things like the Observer being made in the base, but holding off really well. I think really... if he would have busted out a few more units before he would have gone with a push like that, I think it would have been a little bit different. But I don't think he had enough to deal with those Colossi, and I did not see the Vikings there either in that initial battle. So that means the first game will go to Stalker, a.k.a. Optikzero. And your thoughts on that matchup as we get ready for game number 2?
Well, in game 1, I've got to criticize the Terran player a little bit there. If you're going to do... for all intents and purposes, that was a TVP timing push, trying to hit before Thermal Lance is done. If you don't hit that timing right on when the Colossi are very weak, they don't have the extended Thermal Lance, they can be sniped by infantry, then you really run the risk of getting your infantry army cut down by the Colossi, and that's exactly what we saw there. Optikzero having a really, really weak ground army, but just having 3 Colossi out with the extended Thermal Lance gave him so much control over the battle. He was able to dictate where to fight. So if you miss that timing, you've got to sit back, siege up your tanks, really dig your feet in, and get out a lot of Vikings or a lot of Marauders to deal with the Colossi. And really, AhhBoxxah didn't either. He attacked at the wrong time. He actually attacked at probably the worst time, right when extended Thermal Lance finished. So had he sat back for maybe 3 or 4 more minutes and then attacked, or had he attacked maybe 30 seconds faster, we could have seen a different result. But we saw there he just got completely crushed by the Colossi. So he's really going to have to work on his timing in game number 2.
As we go into game number 2, one final note there by Optikzero that I think he does pretty well is he seems to be very smart about when he reinforces. You know, we see a lot of players, they're like, I'm going Stalkers. I will just always be warping in Stalkers. And in that particular situation, he had his Stalkers out on the field, but he was really doing a nice balance of the Zealots and the Stalkers, and of course the Zealots moving in and providing a nice shielding for the Protoss there. So let's see if he can continue that on into game number 2.